Hey guys, Walls here with a look at the text-dependent questions on the Common Lit assignment for excerpt from The Harvest Gypsies by John Steinbeck. I just did the read aloud. Check the video there if you want to listen to it as you read it. Now let's talk about the text a little bit and get into the questions. Well, I guess let's read the questions first. Okay, so part A for number one. Which statement best expresses the central idea of the text? So we're taking the whole text into account here. What do you think the main idea of the text is? What's the main purpose, the central idea, big theme, that kind of stuff? Now, for part B, you got to pick two of those, two details to support the answer that you chose to part A. So the goal here is to correctly identify the theme of the entire text, and then pick which two supports you think are most relevant to that particular theme. Moving on to number three, what distinction does the author draw between migrant farm workers who come from foreign countries and those who come from within the United States? So there's a specific part of the text where he shifts. He says, okay, because of the deportation of this one class of migrant worker, instead we're going to focus on these migrant workers. And he begins to get into some of the distinctions, some of the separations or differences between those two different types of migrant workers. So look for the part of the text where he shifts from his discussion of foreign migrant workers to those that come from within the United States. All right, number four, go back to 21 and 25, paragraphs 21 and 25, and we're going to consider how they develop the ideas in the article. So this kind of gets back to theme. What is his purpose of the article? He kind of starts by describing, I guess, the importance of migrant workers in the state of California. Then he starts looking more closely at what foreign migrant workers have gone through, how they are treated or viewed by society. He then shifts to his discussion of the differences between migrant workers from America and those from outside of the country. And then he kind of starts getting into what those specific people have to go through. So let's go back to paragraph 21 and 25 here. Let's see here, 21. Specifically below, so the peon class, 25. Let us see that the fields require the impact of the labor in the districts which they must travel. So go back to those specific paragraphs mentioned in the question, 21 through 25, and think about what those paragraphs specifically do to contribute to the main overall idea of the article. And you can kind of tie this back to number one. So you've identified the central idea of the text. Well, how do paragraphs 21 through 25 go back to that? All right, now I really enjoy these two questions here, 5 and 6, because they focus on organization first. Like look at number 5. According to Steinbeck, how does the service that migrant workers provide compare with how migrant workers are often viewed in America? So look for language where Steinbeck explicitly states how important or vital the work that these people do is compared to how they are viewed in America. So there's a distinction there. There's a difference. There's a separation. So find the language in the article itself where he specifically addresses this issue. Now, again, this deals with word choice. In the article, how does the author use word choice to convey his point of view about migrant farmer workers? Now, this is a little tricky because in this article, Steinbeck is relaying information. It's nonfiction. He is telling us stuff. Describing things, right? But he's also giving us his point of view, and it's not always explicitly clear. You've got to pay very careful attention. Find evidence in the text that shows us that Steinbeck, I guess you could say, sympathizes with the migrant workers. I would say in this article, he comes out in favor of or in support of migrant workers. Find language that showcases that point of view, because there is language in the text that makes us think that maybe Steinbeck is against or anti-migrant worker. He talks about how they are mistreated, how society views migrant workers as bad, as peons, as dirty, as they increase taxation, that kind of stuff. But that's not necessarily Steinbeck's point of view. That's one of the key things about nonfiction, is separating the author's point of view from the content that the author is describing, if that makes sense. Okay, so answer these questions on Common Lit, and we'll go over the answers to them tomorrow. I just kind of wanted to go over a little analysis of the questions, make sure you understand what it is they're asking of you. This text is key to kind of our understanding of the novel as a whole, because I think, like I mentioned in the read aloud, Steinbeck lived, and he lived with these people. He worked with these people. He had living experience with migrant workers of a variety of backgrounds, but his heart was in California. He was very focused on the life and times of the day-to-day routines, the daily lives of migrant workers in California. So if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I'll talk to you guys again soon.